Hype's coming over.
He's here.
So Ron Slay's here, too.
I'm in the building. I guess we'll do it later. Oh, we'll do it now.
Oh.
We'll do it live.
This kind got no room.
Got no room.
This kind got no room. No room. No room. No room. No room.
What up, Slay Dog?
What's happening?
I bet you're happy.
Slay
I
has
am,
no
man.
roof.
Hype train. What's up, baby?
Josh Heupel sitting down at the table with us as we begin today's show.
We're live,
Coach.
Coach.
Baby.
And let's get a mic check live on the air.
Yep.
Mic check one.
There
two,
you
one,
are.
two.
What's up, big man? How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to see y'all.
Fun day today
Man, it's been awesome.
as you wrap things up.
Come on, let's go.
11-1 last year, 11-win season last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
First time since 2001.
There was another loss.
Yeah,
there,
I'm trying to forget it too.
Thank
But, 11-win season for the first time since 2001. How phenomenally fun and great was that?
Great moments. I absolutely loved almost every piece of it. For our fans, our players, and to be honest, for me too. There's some moments that will be with me the rest of my life, and some of the greatest that I've experienced on a football field or just off of it. At the same time, a lot of goals that we didn't accomplish, and there's a lot left out there. It's been fun getting back. Since January when we got back, our guys they've been about the right things. They competed, and looking forward to 23, this journey with them.
I know Slay and I had a lot of fun with the Tennessee takeover on the SEC Network, and that Alabama-Tennessee game was on at 8 o'clock.
Watch it again.
And I've watched it multiple times since then. And, man, what a moment, though, to just bring everybody together, to have such a dramatic ending and decisions at the end that were made between players and coaches and just led to such one of the best moments in Tennessee football history, honestly.
Yeah, there's the back and forth of the game. There's ups, downs. There's the finish, the kick. But there's so much that goes into it, the years before that didn't go the right way.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I've been a part of that a little bit as a player. When you bring something back that's as big and powerful, and this is bigger and powerful than anything I've ever been a part of, and I'm talking about Vol Nation. It's just one of those rare and unique opportunities. That's one of those moments, I'm talking about me walking off the field. I remember the game too, but walking off the field through the fans, that's something that I'll cherish forever. But those opportunities are rare and unique to experience something like that, and it was fun.
Your third SEC Media Days, how has the message changed?
Man, how fast it's gone. 2 years. What? Some ways it feels like a decade. In other ways it feels like it was yesterday. It's unbelievable. I said it when I was on stage earlier today when I got up here the first year. So much uncertainty, so much negativity, what you can and can't accomplish. We're at 65 players heading into it. Most people had 90, 95. The NCAA stuff, so much. And our players didn't listen to the outside noise. Our staff didn't either. We worked, we competed, we became connected, accountable to one another, and built a culture, had some success. Great journey there. I said it on stage too, that 21 and 22 class will be revered and remembered in a completely different way than anybody I really believe that came before them and after them. Not better or worse, just in a completely different way. They laid a legacy, a foundation, the cornerstones to the future of Tennessee football in some ways. I'm not sure that it had been down like that before ever, and, man, to resurrect it as quickly as they did. Really unique lineage and history that they left on this program. But now you have proof of who you are, what the culture is, what the product's going to look like on the field, the trajectory of the program over 2 years, not just where we are, but where we're going. Man, players can feel it, staff can feel it, they believe in it. Outside expectations are higher, not higher than what we have inside the building, but higher. It changes the game in recruiting. Yep. It's an awesome time to be involved. I'm not sure it's ever been this exciting.
You can sell it, that's for sure. Tennessee football coach Josh Heupel with us on 3HL.
I know, obviously, Hendon Hooker was a very important part of that.
Yeah, we're not where we are without him.
Yeah. So, and now as you turn the page, obviously, judging by your representatives here at SEC Media Day, you feel good about your leadership. there. Hit me on those guys. And,
Well, I
and at
feel
your
great about the
quarterback
3
position.
guys we came.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed I don't get to bring about another 12 guys with me.
Really.
We got great. We really do. We got guys that care, that are willing to lead, that are willing to step out and have a voice. They're going to coach the guys around them on and off the field. They're going to do that in a really positive way. I love being in that building, man. Like, we don't deal. They're 18 to 22, right? But man, we don't deal with many issues. They do what they're supposed to. Classroom, like, my God, I don't know. Our GPA looks like Stanford, maybe, or something like that. And I said, in a positive way, but like, they're doing a really good job of being consistent, and so it's fun to be here. I believe in the 3 guys that came here. Let's start with Joe, a guy that you guys got a chance to see at the end of the year. You saw him in mop-up duty. Everybody in our program, players and coaches, believed he was going to play at a really high level when he got his next opportunity, and he did. And it's not because he changed something that week or the month before. It's because of what he had done consistently since the last time everybody had seen him. And somebody asked me, how's he changed this offseason as far as, really starting to take ownership. Man, he really hasn't changed his habits, what he's doing, his leadership. He's continued on the journey and the path and the road that he was on before he got his next opportunity, and that's why you take advantage of it the way that he did. Jacob Warren, guy that's going to be a great player for us this fall. Our tight ends, the pace that we play, those guys typically play about 50% of the snaps. He's stronger, more athletic, better leader. He represents everything that's good about UT football. It's awesome to have him back and have him here with us. Amari Thomas, 4th-year guy, bleeds orange. Family came over from Memphis today to see him here. It's an awesome opportunity for them, and got to be a really proud moment. A guy that's one of our strongest leaders on the defensive side of the football, consistent in what he does, and played at a really consistent level last year. Has continued to change his body. Expect him to have a great year.
How much better is that side of the ball already?
Well, we're going to find out when we get to kickoff, right? We took big strides a year ago, in being able to defend the run, and that was the first step that we had to take. I'm going to rewind 2 years ago, 65 scholarships, 35 guys in the transfer portal. Not all of them, a lot of them were on that side of the football. The 35 guys were, by recruiting services, probably 35 of the best players on our roster. We've added depth. That helped us a year ago make that jump defensively, in particular in run game, 0 negative yard plays, turnovers, which we were in the top 2 in both of those categories. Excuse me. And this year we got to get better at defending the pass. Everybody knows that. That happens we've added depth. That's in the secondary. Part of pass defense is applying pressure to the quarterback too. We've done that on the defensive line. We have to stay healthy in the secondary. We were banged up in spring ball, training camp, and during the season. We have to stay healthy. They have to grow. They have to make mistakes. They got to learn from it before we get to the live situations on game day. Yeah. And then, for us, we got to apply pressure with the front 4. And, I like the steps that we've made fundamentally, technically up there. I feel like we will make another jump. We got great leadership, Coach Banks, that defensive staff. I love what we're doing, the versatility, 3 down, 4 down, pressure packages, drop 8. You got to prepare for everything when you play us.
Tennessee football coach Josh Heupel with us at SEC Media Days.
Coach, you can always talk offense and talk about the explosive guys. They always highlight things, but I want to talk about 2 freshmen on your defensive side of the ball.
Let's go.
And
Come
what
on.
kind of impact they can have. Caleb Herring and Arian Carter. Like what can they bring, especially at that position? What can they bring to this defense, and what are you expecting from them?
Yeah, Caleb, the guy that played off the ball in space, naturally at our level is going to be closer to it. He's been great in the weight room.
Good.
Great kid, highly competitive, has a big-time motor. Most surprising to me, more physical than I anticipated in making the transition to college football. He will play with great pad level. He will stick his face right on you, and highly, highly, highly competitive. He's got to stay healthy. Back third of spring ball, a little bit of Nick. He's been working through that all summer. I feel like we'll get to training camp. He'll be a good spot, and want him to push and compete and play for us in the fall. The second one was Aaron Carter, right?
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Yeah.
I see that smile.
I like him.
You see my smile too, don't you? Man, unbelievable kid.
Yeah.
One of the most mature guys I've ever come across. Our conversations when we first started recruiting, I was like, man, that's a Tennessee Vol right there. Smart, competitive, work ethic, and going to be an unbelievable leader inside of our locker room. Really fluid athletically. I think I love what he did in the offseason, showcase that in spring ball. I really anticipate him making another jump here when we get to training camp. Those mid-year guys, they resemble the class that came in before them more than they do the true freshmen that come in late May, early June now.
Right.
Off-season, installs, spring ball, make a bunch of mistakes. The game's moving really fast. It slows down on the back end. Summer, you re-get those installs. Man, you grow. You digest it. You learn it. By the time you get to training camp, you're a completely different player, man.
Yeah.
Coach, I feel like you love your team. I know that's a weird comment.
It's coming across that way.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you're like cool and chill.
No, I just feel it in hearing from you, and I don't feel that from every coach. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean other than I know what you mean when you're talking about me, man.
Yeah, good
I
answer.
do. I love our team. I love seeing them every day. God, they're competitive. Good kids.
Yeah.
Great spirit.
It's funny. We've been talking about Joe Milton, and we used to talk about how we hoped that he would get in at the end of the game because everything was in play, like with a laser and a missile and a bomb and all this stuff. But, man, like watching it, you mentioned it, watching him last year, the fade route against South Carolina, I was like, oh, okay. And then you started to see all the throws. Where is Joe in his development? And I guess that's the first part. The second part is, obviously the players and everybody gravitate toward him. My family sat behind the bench at the Vanderbilt game. And just watching the players just gravitate toward him was interesting to me and told me a lot about who he is.
Yeah, he's got struck with the players. That's, you know what I mean? Like they know he's talented, they know he works, and they know that that's a guy that can help them win, and he's going to be a really good leader, right? It takes all those things for you to have the pull that he does. Where he's at in his development, man, everybody wants everybody to show up on campus and be ready to play at a championship level. That's just not real. And there's an evolution and a maturation that everybody goes through. And, there's different styles of quarterbacks, right? Like, I was a pure dual athlete, elite speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't believe you're buying it.
Yeah,
You're like shaking your head.
I got stock in there.
I'm going to see how far you're going to go with that.
Until you hit elite speed, I was like, okay.
I remember.
So you got guys that are comfortable in the pocket. Then you got guys that are dynamic playmakers, right? And then you got guys that, don't have elite arms but are great anticipation throwers. Then you got guys that have elite arm and need to work on touch and finding windows.
Yep.
Everybody's working on something to grow into the player that you need to be to play it at a level where you can win championships and where the game in some ways looks easy to the guy that's watching it on TV or in the stands. And Joe's continued on that, man. He's pocket movement unbelievably better than it was. Balance in the pocket now allows you to be accurate with the football, but that only happens because you understand your offense, you understand defensive scheme, you understand what's happening pre-snap, then post-snap, on the snap, and you're able to wire all of that together and harness it. And he's done a great job.
How much more free do you feel with the investigation going?
Man, it's hard to put into words. We've navigated it unbelievably well just in the recruiting and with our own roster. That happens because you're transparent, dialogue. They believe in what you're saying. Yeah. Administration, unbelievable job of making sure that innocent student-athletes don't have an opportunity to do the things that they dream about. Would have been easy to just take a bowl ban in year one. Wasn't the right thing for the guys that stayed behind. They were all innocent. They weren't the guys that were caught up in anything. So administration's new, staff's new, players are new. It's huge. not for our current roster, because I'm not like when I told them, they were kind of like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? Like we're here. I don't think they anticipated anything other than that. For our staff, it was awesome. Recruits, it was huge. Because the conversations that were happening from other teams across the country, right, sensationalizing what was going to happen, it made it more difficult. And now to be able to say, hey, this is exactly what it is. Listen, we've been doing these things, taking these penalties at a higher clip than we actually will have to over the next 5 years. And it didn't change how you felt. It doesn't change who you get to come in with, what players you're playing against or with in the locker room. You're going to be surrounded by great players. You're going to have an opportunity to go compete for championships, get a chance to become the best player at your position, in college football, hopefully. And we're going to help them on their journey.
There he is. He's Tennessee football coach Josh Heupel, one of the most athletic quarterbacks.
That's right.
This is the first time, though.
Just keep
I already had a nice little cup, a nice stogie lit up for you in the boom boom room. But thanks to Bill, don't even worry about it. Bill wanted it. I know he wanted it, so I ain't going to let him get it. We'll worry about it next time.
I'm disappointed.
I feel like
feel it. I feel like you got nervous and didn't want to go in the boom boom room. That's what I feel like.
There he is.
Thank
He's Josh
you, Coach.
Heupel, Tennessee football coach. More 3HL next on 104.5 The Zone.
Thank you.